guys, welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new. Make sure that you subscribe if you're not already for more videos like this one. In today's video, I'm going to be trimming my hair, and I'm going to be trimming about 4 inches off of it, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. So if you're interested on watching me do it or how to do it, then keep on watching. Okay, so step number 1 is always to brush your hair. You don't want any knots or tangles while you're cutting your hair or you're cutting anybody else's hair. The next step is completely optional. I like to straighten my hair just so I know where I'm cutting, what everything looks like, and the true length. You can definitely cut your hair while it's wet. Some people find it easier when it's wet. I find it easier when it's dry and straight, but it's all up to you and your preference, whatever you find easier. Next, I'm gonna part my hair down the middle and bring everything to the front. And then I'm going to take the hair from the crown of my head down to my ear and separate that away. And then the rest of my hair, I'm just gonna tie it so that it's out of my way when I'm cutting my front face layers. So go ahead and tie your hair out of your face. Next, I'm going to be starting on my front facial layers, and this is what I do. So I'll gather all my hair from the front that I just separated and brush it up to the top. Now, the higher that you take your hair, the more layers you're gonna have. The lower that you take it, the less layers. So I like to keep it just in between. And then I'm just gonna cut a diagonal line. So I'm gonna point cut, which basically means to cut into your hair, just so everything is blended nicely and not choppy looking. I'm gonna point cut inwards diagonally, like you guys can see there. And I just cut only a little bit. And then if you guys can see like that layered look, that cascading effect, I love that layered look, and this is how I achieve it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now, if you guys want a full length video on how to cut like the front face layers, how to cascade it, how to feather it, I will link that down below. But I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to make it into a diagonal. Sometimes when your hair grows out, some hairs grow faster than the other hairs, and it just becomes a little bit uneven. So my hair did grow a little bit uneven on the other side, and I just trimmed it so it's all even. Next, I'm gonna bring all my hair to the front. And this part is optional to you guys on how much hair you want in your second layer or where you want your second layer to start. This is where I want my second layer to start, so that's how I'm separating it. And then I'm going to start working on my second layer. I'm going to take all of that hair, brush it upwards, and go ahead and trim it. Now, my hair, this is the longest that it's been, so my hands started to hurt at this point. So keep that in mind. If you guys have long hair, go slow, cut slowly. I'm just going to go ahead and trim that. Now you guys can see I'm trimming quite a bit of hair, and it was a lot of dead hair. So I think I cut about 1.5 inches, and I'm just gonna point cut inwards. And this layer I just cut straight. And then, do you guys see the layered effect right there? I really love that, and that's why I love cutting my own hair, because I feel like I'm the only one that can give myself these kind of layers. Next, this is my technique that I use to blend my layers and make sure that everything is even, there's no straggly pieces. So what I do is basically just cut out the pieces that are sticking out and make it into more of a diagonal shape, and this gives your layers, like right there, that just makes your layers look a lot more blended and even and diagonal. It just gives a really pretty layered effect. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to gather all my hair, take it up to the top. Again, remember, the higher you go, the more layers you have. The lower that you go, the less layers you have. So I like to keep mine in the middle. Now I'm going to cut that into a straight line. Like you guys can see, like when you have long hair, it's a struggle to cut your own hair. Even though I've been doing this for so long, it's still a little bit harder on the hands because your hands start to hurt. So I'm just gonna cut right into that and make everything even. And then I'm gonna use the same technique to blend out my layers. Basically just gather my hair and bring it to the front and cut it into a diagonal shape. So you guys see it's not completely diagonal, so I kind of just cut into it and make it a diagonal. If you guys are interested in the scissors that I'm using on my hair, I'll link that down below. But the next step is to cut your last layer. So here is what I'm gonna do. Basically, I'm gonna blend everything together, comb it all together, and then I'm going to take that up to the top, and this is where I'm gonna be cutting a lot of hair off, and I'll show you guys what I mean in just a second. Okay, so you guys see that big chunk sticking out right there, and then you guys see the guide that I have. I'm gonna be cutting that big chunk off, and that was a little bit scary for me, but I had to do it because it was so dry. And you guys can see I cut it off, and then I'm gonna point cut inwards to blend everything together. And if you guys can tell, it looks like I didn't even cut anything off. So that's why I love this haircut, is because you basically don't lose any length unless you do what I'm about to do. So you know the technique that I showed you where I blend my layers in by cutting in diagonally? So that's what I'm gonna do here, but I'm going to be blending it in differently. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about because I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna cut like about 2 inches off from the bottom, as you guys can see right there, and then just blend everything together diagonally. So that is how I trim the length off of my hair. If you guys, if anything I'm saying is making sense, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. But you guys see I trimmed off the bottom and made it a lot more diagonal. So my hair is still long, but I did cut off about 3 or 4 inches by cutting, like if you guys can see, well, it doesn't look like 3 or 4 inches. It looks more like 2 or 3 inches maybe, but you guys can see a difference. It looks a lot healthier and a lot fuller. The other side looked a lot stringier and thinner. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side. So first I'm going to gather my hair and trim off that excess I have right there using my guide, which is the hair that I cut previously. And then I'm gonna cut that off. So if you guys can tell, I still have my length. And if you guys want to cut your length the way that I do, basically I'm going to use the same technique that I use to blend my layers and cut diagonally. But right there at the bottom, I'm going to cut a whole lot more hair and kind of blend that into the rest. So if you guys can see that. If you guys don't understand what I'm doing or saying, please leave me a comment so that I can explain it better. But yeah, this is how I trim my layers, basically how I give myself a haircut every couple of months. And if you guys can see, everything comes out so even and blended. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like on the back as well. I love this haircut because I still get to have long hair, but I get to have layers in it, and I keep the thickness, I keep the length, I have body, I have volume, and just I love the U shape that I give myself too. And if you guys are interested in the full-blown tutorial, I'll leave that link down below. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. So there you have it. For those of you girls who have long hair or are like me, you guys know that even when you go to the barber shop or even when you cut your own hair, even if you cut like an inch off, it's a big deal and you can actually feel that inch. It sounds crazy, but you actually could. So this haircut for me was a big deal. I know that I cut about maybe 3 or 4 inches off, so my hair feels a lot lighter. It does feel weird that when I run my fingers through it, it ends right here because usually it would go more further down, but it does feel healthier and lighter and just more bouncier and flowy. I'm glad that I cut it. I'm happy with the results, and I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this kind of video where I just take you along with me while I cut my hair. If you want a full tutorial step by step, I will link that down below. I will also have a video down below where I show you guys how to layer your like you get the cascading layers like these. It takes like 5 minutes and it's really easy. I'll link that video down below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.